Okay, so you want to figure out this whole selling your music online thing right,
Yeah.
but you want to like do it right.
Right.
You don't want to get lost in all the the weeds, and you want to be efficient.
Exactly. You want to get straight to the point.
Yeah, and we get that.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing today.
Yep.
We're doing a deep dive into
That's right.
basically this guide for musicians.
Yeah. A musician's guide.
Which just came out.
It dropped like a hot new single.
Yeah.
On blogwidow.com.
Blogwidow.com.
Yeah.
On March 31st, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Very recent.
Fresh off the digital presses.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to like break down all the key takeaways and like the essential points so you can just know how to do this without like
totally
getting overwhelmed.
Think of this as your roadmap, to actually making online music sales work for you.
A roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've gone through and like pulled out the essentials to give you the clearest path, basically, to getting your music out there.
Okay, so like first thing the guide's up, choose the right platform.
Choose the right platform.
When I look at all the platforms,
Yeah.
it's a little overwhelming.
It can be, yeah.
Like, where do you even start?
It can feel like a maze, but it's more like like a set of tools.
Yeah.
Each one is a little different. It's got its own strengths.
Right.
So understanding that.
Okay.
Understanding like what each platform offers.
Okay.
And who it reaches.
Yeah.
That's like the first key step
Okay.
to building your strategy.
Okay, so where does the guide
Yeah.
suggest we begin?
Well, they start with Bandcamp,
Okay.
which they seem to be pretty enthusiastic about for independent artists especially.
Okay, so Bandcamp, what's so special about it?
It's really all about direct sales.
Okay.
You can sell digital downloads,
Okay.
physical albums, even your merch
Right.
directly to fans.
So you don't have to go through like a middleman.
That's the idea. You're cutting out the middleman.
Okay.
And their commission is quite reasonable.
Okay.
You're not giving up like a huge chunk.
Right.
And you get a lot of control over your pricing.
Over your pricing.
Which is a big deal.
Right.
Like, a lot of artists want to be able to set their own prices.
Right.
And Bandcamp really lets you do that.
So they even mentioned pay what you want, which is interesting.
It is.
That seems like it could really pay off if
Yeah.
you've cultivated a strong connection with your listeners.
It really can.
Yeah.
If you've got like a dedicated fan base who really believes in what you're doing,
Yeah.
they're often willing to
Right.
pay what they think is fair.
And often that can be more than you might have
Exactly.
even charged if you just put a flat price on it.
Exactly.
Sure.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
often successful artists will combine that pay what you want with maybe like exclusive bonus content
Okay.
for higher tiers.
Yeah.
So like if you pay $5, you get the album.
Right.
If you pay $10, you get the album plus like
Okay.
some behind the scenes stuff or,
Yeah.
or maybe a demo or something like that.
Right.
Or a lot of artists will set a reasonable minimum price.
Okay.
So you can still
Yeah.
you can encourage that generosity from your fans, but also make sure that you're at least covering your costs.
Right. You're not going in the hole.
Exactly.
Okay, so Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Direct connection.
Direct connection.
Fosters a real sense of support.
Yeah.
You're not just another track in
Yeah.
a massive library.
Exactly.
You're directly engaging with your fans.
That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
It's a real community feel.
So the guide then shifts to the streaming giants,
Mm-hmm.
Spotify and Apple Music.
The big dogs.
Yeah, now these aren't really like
Yeah.
about directly selling a track, like a download,
But
right?
it's a different model.
Yeah.
It's more about getting heard
Okay.
and earning royalties from streams.
Okay, so can you break that down for us?
Sure. So basically, listeners subscribe to these platforms
Okay.
for access to a huge catalog of music.
Right.
And as an artist,
Yeah.
you earn a small royalty
Yeah.
every time someone streams your music.
Okay, so every time someone listens.
Yeah, every time someone listens to your track,
Yeah.
you get a little bit of money.
Okay, so it's not like you're getting like a dollar every time
Well,
someone.
it's fractions of a cent usually.
Fractions of a cent.
Yeah.
So like.
So you're looking at like $0.003.
Yeah.
Or $0.005 per stream.
Okay, so you need a lot of streams.
You need a lot of streams
Right.
to make any significant money.
Okay.
But the potential
Yeah.
for reaching a huge global audience
Yeah.
is massive.
Right, because everyone's on Spotify.
Everyone's on Spotify or Apple Music.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So you're saying the key here
The key here is volume.
is volume.
You got to get those stream counts up.
Okay.
If you want to see some real revenue.
Okay, so if you want to get your music onto Spotify or Apple Music, you need to go through a distributor, right?
Right. You generally do.
Okay.
That's where companies like DistroKid and TuneCore come in.
Right. So the guide mentions those. So what do they do?
They're basically your gateway
to
these major streaming services.
Okay.
So you upload your music to them.
Okay.
And they handle all the technical stuff of getting it onto Spotify, Apple Music, all those platforms.
So I'm guessing that would be a real pain to do yourself.
It would be a huge headache to manage individual uploads and royalties.
Yeah, across all these different platforms.
So these distributors really simplify things.
Okay.
They handle all that for you.
So the guide also mentions iTunes and Amazon Music.
Yep.
Are people still buying digital downloads in a world dominated by streaming?
You know, it's funny. You would think that would have gone away by now.
Right.
But people do.
Okay.
They still buy downloads.
Okay.
You know, maybe they don't want to pay for a streaming subscription.
Right.
Or maybe they just like to own their music.
Right.
You know, they want to have it on their computer.
Yeah.
So iTunes and Amazon Music, they cater to that market.
Okay.
And it's another way for fans to support you directly.
So they're buying?
Yeah, they're buying the tracks.
Okay. And with those, you also usually need a distributor?
Yeah, you typically do.
Okay.
You know, unless you have some kind of special arrangement.
Okay.
But for most independent artists, you're going to want to go through a distributor.
Okay. So we've covered the big streaming and download platforms. What about SoundCloud?
SoundCloud.
I know a lot of musicians use that, especially when they're starting out.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with SoundCloud?
Well, it's kind of a hybrid model.
Okay.
They have free accounts.
Okay.
Which are great for sharing early work.
Yeah.
Getting feedback, building an initial following.
Okay.
But then they have a paid plan.
Okay.
Called Pro Unlimited.
Unlimited.
Yeah. And that allows for direct sales.
Okay.
Through the platform.
So like Bandcamp.
It's similar to Bandcamp in that way.
Okay.
But it also gives you valuable audience analytics.
Analytics, that's helpful.
You can see who's listening to your music.
Oh, okay.
Where they're from, what tracks they're listening to.
So you can kind of tailor.
Yeah, you can tailor your strategy.
Your approach.
Based on that information.
Okay. Yeah.
So it can be a more integrated solution for some artists.
Okay.
Especially those who are really focused on building that direct fan base.
Okay.
And understanding their listeners.
Okay. And then there's YouTube. YouTube.
Obviously, everyone thinks of videos first.
Of course.
But the guide highlights its potential for music sales, too.
It's more than just cat videos.
So what's the deal with YouTube?
Well, you can obviously share your music through videos.
Right.
You can make like a proper music video.
Yeah.
Or even just like a static image with your album art.
Right.
You know, just something visual.
Visual.
And then through the YouTube partner program, you can monetize those views with ads.
So you can actually...
Yeah, you can actually make money.
Make money from the views.
Just from people watching the videos.
Okay.
But more directly related to sales.
Okay.
You can use the video description to include links to your Bandcamp page.
Okay.
Your distributor links for Spotify and Apple Music.
Right.
You know, wherever else you're selling your music.
So YouTube's kind of like...
It's like a hub.
A central hub.
Yeah, you can get people in.
Yeah.
With the video content.
And then direct them?
Direct them to where?
To where they can buy or stream your music.
Okay, cool.
So it's a really powerful platform.
All right, so you figured out where you want your music to be. The next step, according to the guide, is registering with a digital distributor.
That's right.
Now, we touched on this.
Yeah, we mentioned it.
But let's really dig into...
Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
What they do.
Okay, so at their core, digital distributors take your finished music and upload it to all those platforms we've been talking about.
All those streaming platforms.
Yeah, all those online stores.
iTunes, Amazon.
The whole shebang.
So they handle all...
They handle all the formatting requirements.
Which I'm guessing are pretty complicated.
They can be, yeah.
Okay.
Each platform has its own quirks, its own file types and stuff like that.
Okay.
So the distributors take care of all that.
Okay.
They make sure your music is delivered properly. Okay. And then they track and collect the royalties generated from streams and sales.
Okay.
And then they pass those on to you.
Minus a fee.
Minus their fee or commission.
Right. Okay.
So they're kind of like your accountant in a way with your online music income.
So the guide spotlights a few key distributors.
Yep.
DistroKid, TuneCore.
Yeah, the big three.
And CD Baby.
Can't forget CD Baby.
Yeah, what are the main distinctions?
Okay, so DistroKid has become really popular
Okay.
for its unlimited upload model.
Unlimited upload model.
Yeah. So you pay a yearly fee.
Okay.
And you can upload as much music as you want.
Okay.
To a huge number of platforms.
Wow.
Like over 150 platforms.
So like if you're really prolific?
Yeah. If you're putting out a lot of music.
Yeah.
It can be a really good deal.
Okay.
And they cover all the major ones.
Okay.
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon.
Okay.
All those.
TuneCore.
TuneCore, on the other hand.
Okay.
They charge per release.
Per release.
Yeah. So you pay a fee.
Okay.
For every single or album.
Okay.
That you put out.
Okay.
But the big draw for TuneCore.
Yeah.
Is that they let you keep 100%.
100%.
Of your sales revenue.
Wow.
So you're not giving up any commission.
So they're not taking a cut.
They're not taking a cut of your sales.
Oh, okay.
But they do offer additional services.
Okay.
Like publishing administration.
Okay.
And YouTube monetization.
Okay.
But those cost extra.
Okay.
So you can kind of pick and choose.
All right. And CD Baby.
Yeah, CD Baby's been around forever.
They have.
They're kind of like the veterans of the independent music scene.
Okay.
They offer one-time pricing per release.
Okay.
So similar to TuneCore in that way.
Okay.
And they distribute to all the major platforms.
Right. Yeah.
But what sets CD Baby apart is that they also offer physical distribution.
Okay.
So if you want to sell CDs or vinyl, they can handle that for you.
So they'll manufacture the CDs.
They can.
Yeah. Print the vinyl, ship it all out.
A whole 9 yards.
Wow. Okay.
So it's a really comprehensive service.
So with all these different models,
Yeah.
how does a musician decide?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
You know, the guide advises considering several factors.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, think about the pricing structure.
Okay.
Does a flat annual fee for unlimited uploads make more sense for you?
Okay.
Or do you prefer paying per release?
Okay.
You know, it depends on how much music you're putting out.
Right.
If you're only releasing like one single a year, maybe TuneCore or CD Baby is a better option.
Okay.
But if you're putting out like an album a month, DistroKid might be more cost effective.
Okay.
And then consider customer support.
Okay.
You know, how responsive are they?
Yeah.
If you have a problem,
right.
Can you get someone on the phone?
Right. Because that's important.
It is.
If you run into a snag.
You don't want to be stuck with no one to help you.
Okay. And then you said, look at
the specific platforms.
Okay.
They distribute.
Yeah.
To, you know, do they cover all the services that you're targeting?
Right. If you want to be on Tidal and they don't.
Yeah, you're out of luck.
Support Tidal then.
Yeah.
It's a no-go.
So it's about finding the distributor.
Right.
That aligns best with your needs.
Your specific needs.
And your goals.
All right. So you've chosen your platforms.
Yeah.
You've got your distributor lined up.
Okay.
What's the next crucial step?
Well, the guide emphasizes optimizing your music metadata.
Music metadata.
Yeah, that sounds kind of technical.
A little dry.
A little dry.
Yeah.
But it's really important.
Okay.
It's like super important.
So explain it to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so metadata is basically information that's embedded in your music files.
Okay.
It's like the data that tells the platforms and ultimately the listeners who the artist is, the track title, the album name, the genre, the release date.
All the important stuff.
Yeah, all basic info that people need to know.
So why is filling out all these fields so important?
Well, it seems like administrative stuff, right?
It kind of does.
But it's the backbone of how your music is discovered on platforms like Spotify, Apple Music.
Right.
You know, accurate metadata ensures that your music is correctly categorized.
Okay.
So it shows up in the right searches.
Okay.
And it gets recommended to listeners who enjoy similar sounds.
So it's like the algorithm.
It's all about the algorithm.
It knows where to put you.
It knows where to put you.
Okay.
And who to show you to.
And if you don't fill that out properly, then you're basically...
You're invisible.
Invisible.
Yeah, you're lost in the digital ether.
Okay, so it's fundamental.
It's fundamental.
For discoverability.
Yeah. If you want people to find your music, you got to get your metadata right.
Okay. And then also the guide mentions that accurate metadata is essential.
It is.
For making sure you get proper credit.
That's right.
And the correct royalties.
Yeah. You don't want to be missing out on money that you're owed.
Okay.
Because your metadata is messed up.
So the guide has a little metadata checklist. First, consistent and correct artist name across all platforms.
Yes, seems obvious.
But why the emphasis?
Because you'd be surprised
how
many artists mess this up.
Really?
Yeah, they'll have slightly different variations of their name on different platforms.
Okay.
And that can confuse the algorithms.
Right.
But more importantly, it can confuse your fans.
Right.
If they're searching for you on Spotify and they see one name, and then they go to Apple Music and they see a slightly different name, they might think it's a different artist.
Right. So you want to be consistent.
Consistency is key.
Yeah. Okay, next. Correctly spelled and formatted track titles.
Yeah, again, seems straightforward.
Right.
But you'd be surprised.
People mess this up.
Oh, yeah. Typos, inconsistent capitalization.
Okay.
It just looks unprofessional.
Right.
And it can cause problems with how platforms index and display your music.
Right. So if you're looking for a song and it's spelled wrong,
it might not show up.
It's not going to show up in the search.
Exactly.
Okay. Appropriate genre selection.
Ah, yes, genre.
This helps with categorization and recommendations.
That's right.
So should you just pick the most popular genre?
No.
Even if it's only tangentially related?
No. Be thoughtful about it.
Okay.
Be accurate.
Okay.
Choose the genres that best represent your music.
Okay.
Because that will increase the chances of your songs being placed on relevant playlists.
Right.
And recommended to listeners who actually like that kind of music.
Okay, so don't try to game the system.
No, the algorithm is smarter than you think. Yeah. It'll figure it out.
And then finally, consistent release date across all platforms.
Yeah, if you're planning a coordinated launch.
Right, so you don't want it to be like available on Spotify today.
Right.
But then Apple Music next week.
Yeah. You want to have a consistent rollout?
Makes sense.
It helps build anticipation, too.
Right.
Everyone knows it's dropping on this day.
Okay. And then you said also...
Oh, yeah. There are a few other things that are worth considering. Yeah. Like including instrumental versions in your metadata.
Okay.
If you have them.
Right.
Or explicit content warnings.
Right.
If your music has explicit lyrics.
So you don't get, like, flagged?
Yeah, you don't want to get flagged.
By the algorithm.
Or have your music end up on a playlist where it's not appropriate.
Right, okay.
So those details can help avoid potential issues.
Okay. So it's really important.
Metadata is crucial.
To get all this stuff right.
Yeah, it's the foundation of your online music presence.
All right. Your music is uploaded.
Yeah.
All the right info is attached.
Okay.
Now for the big question.
Hit me with it.
How do you decide how much to charge?
The age-old question.
The guide tackles setting the right pricing.
Yeah.
And it sounds like...
It's not a simple answer.
It's not a one-size-fits-all answer.
No, it really depends on the platform and what you're offering.
Okay.
So for digital downloads, like on Bandcamp, you often have a lot of control.
Okay.
You can set a fixed price that you feel is fair.
Right.
Or you can use that pay-what-you-want model.
Right, which we talked about.
Which we discussed.
And the guide suggests that pay what you want can be surprisingly effective.
It can.
If you've built a loyal fan base.
Yeah. If you have those dedicated fans who really want to support you, they might be willing to pay more.
More than you would have even charged.
Exactly.
If you had a set price.
Yeah, they might surprise you with their generosity.
Wow. Okay.
And that's the beauty of that direct connection.
Right.
When fans feel invested in your journey, they're often more willing to give back.
Oh, okay.
Now, when you're looking at physical sales, like CDs and vinyl, the guide recommends doing some research.
Okay.
See what other artists
in your genre
are charging for similar products.
Okay.
To get a sense of the market.
Okay. And physical products often carry a higher perceived value.
They do.
Especially if you offer limited editions.
Absolutely.
Or signed copies.
People love that stuff.
They do.
It makes it feel more special.
Right. And it's something they can hold.
Exactly.
It's tangible.
It's a tangible item.
And then streaming, as we discussed, operates on a different economic model.
It does.
You don't set the price per stream.
Nope.
That's determined by the platforms.
The platforms call the shots on that one.
Okay.
But the strategy here is to aim for a high volume of streams.
High volume.
Yeah, lots of listens. Right. Because the individual payout is small.
Right, fractions of a cent.
But if you can get millions of streams, then it starts to add up.
So it's really a game.
It's a volume game.
A volume versus direct purchase price?
Exactly.
Okay, all right, so you've got your music up. You've priced it strategically. Now, how do you actually let people know it exists?
Ah, the million-dollar question.
Yeah, how do you get people to listen and buy?
Well, the guide has a whole section on promoting your music effectively.
So it's definitely not a case of just uploading it and hoping for the best.
No, you can't just sit back
and
wait for the fans to come to you.
Right.
You gotta
hustle.
You gotta hustle. You gotta get out there.
Okay, so what do they recommend?
Well, they start with social media.
Social media.
Yeah, the usual suspects.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
TikTok.
All that.
All the big ones.
Okay, so it's about sharing snippets of your music.
Yeah, give people a taste.
Yeah.
Give them a little something to get them hooked.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, show them what you're working on.
Right.
Make them feel like they're part of the process.
Announcing new releases.
Of course.
Yeah.
You got to let people know when the new stuff is coming out.
Right.
Build up that anticipation.
So social media is kind of like
It's your direct line.
Direct line.
To your audience.
Okay.
It's a way to connect with them.
Yeah.
On a personal level.
Right.
Build a relationship.
But it's not just about broadcasting your latest track.
It's about engaging.
Yeah.
Responding to comments. Right. Running polls, asking questions.
Right. Having a conversation.
Exactly. Make it a two-way street.
Okay. And then there's email marketing. Email,
which I know some people think it's outdated.
Yeah.
Expert speaker.